like your name.
Oh, thank you. Back in San Jose, California, with your boy Dusty here on the West Coast. Glad to see you all tonight. Hope you all had a wonderful weekend. I know we had a wonderful weekend at Equestria LA just a week ago. And one of those lovely people that we got to meet down at EQLA is with us tonight. One Miss Brenda Crichlow. Brenda, are you here?
Hi.
How you
hello,
doing?
Hello.
Hello.
I'm doing great.
Awesome. The beautiful people are here again.
Yes.
Yes. How are you doing
I had
today?
A fabulous time.
Fabulous.
I'm fine. I had a fabulous time in LA. It was a great event.
Beautiful. I hear you and the family stayed down there a couple of days, went to Disneyland?
Yes, we sure did. My husband and my daughter, who's 4.5, so for her it was magical. We brought a tear to her eyes.
Awesome.
Tinkerbell went flying across the wire there, and all we heard was, "Tinkerbell, come back! Don't be shy."
Oh, so
it was very
sweet.
cute.
Yeah,
it was very cute.
First time for the kids?
First time for her, and first time for me.
Nice.
My parents didn't get us there somehow. I said to my dad, "Well, why didn't we go?" He goes, "I don't know." He didn't really have a real solid answer as to why, other than, I'm half Jamaican, half Trinidadian, and I guess for them, Carnival eclipses all else, and whatever Disneyland was. And when they immigrated, it just wasn't on their radar, I guess. Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know.
I experienced it too.
They don't promote Song of the South anymore, so it's like, ooh. Yeah, that's bad words to Disney.
Yeah.
They buried that one 9 feet down.
I'm sure. Yeah. But anyway, I enjoyed it. It was fantastic, and I would happily go again.
Awesome.
Recommend it to anybody.
Let's get to it. I got a nice list of questions right here for you, written for me by one Care to Win, my writer and partner in this endeavor, and we'll go straight to it. You've acted in a wide variety of genres: science fiction, horror, drama, comedy, science fiction, thrillers, action, you name it, you've done it. What is your favorite genre to work in?
Sure have. What would be my favorite show?
Yeah, favorite genre. Favorite genre to work in.
I'm just trying to think. Let me think. Well, I guess maybe one of my favorites was Jeremiah. That was fun. That had me playing Malcolm Jamal Warner's mom, where I was dying of the plague, and it was a hard audition to do, and then it was fantastic when I got the part. Wow. But it just had me, on a scale of 1 to 10, you had to be at a 10 right off the top, with dying of the plague and asking your husband to kill you, basically.
There you go.
So that was the opening for that character. And I don't know, Jump Street was a fun one to play way back, where I got to be a gang leader. So, being opposite of anything I've ever played and being kind of nasty and tough, and it was an all-girl gang kind of a thing. That was fun. Some of the nastier roles when you get to be something different than yourself and not being all sweet. Those are always the ones that you jump at. Outer Limits, I think I had one where I got to be the ruler of something and stand up before, the rest of the group and speak my piece and,
Nice.
say that I will annihilate anybody who doesn't, go along with what I have to say. This is why this is good for us. It's nice to play roles that are strong and, strong women.
Nice.
So those are some of the fun ones.
Cool. With a filmography as diverse as yours, on how many different series, your life must be an endless stream of auditions. How do you manage to balance a family and your acting life and your school?
How do I manage to that? Okay, well, a lot of the auditions take place during the day. So my daughter, before Justin came along anyway, that's made it a little more challenging, but my daughter has been in preschool, so she's there 9 to 5, and then most of the auditions will take place usually between 9 and 6, thereabouts. That might be the latest one. So between 9 and 5, you'll have to pop out to an audition. It makes it difficult in the evening when you are going for a lead and you have a 100-page treatment to read, a 100-page script to read, and then 7 to 10 pages of dialogue to learn.
Oof.
And if you want to be competitive, then you will have that dialogue memorized. And you will be able to walk in the room and be what's called off-book, meaning you have the script in your hand, but it's considered off-book because I'm able to look you in the eye, I'm able to interact, but I still have the script in my hand, but I don't have my head in the page.
Right.
So to get to all of that means sometimes some very late nights, but like everything else, you just have to do what you do. And once the kids go to bed by 8 o'clock, then I'm on it. And if it means that I have to bring Justin, who's one, with me, I've had to do that. I either have to try and find a girlfriend that's out and about and free that can, help me at the audition, come with me, or ask another actor and not, disrupt their moment before they go into the audition, because everybody's nervous and nobody wants to be distracted by, here, can you push my baby? Can you hang on to him for a moment and just, keep him amused while I go in? So it makes for a little bit of a dance, but it's doable.
Nice.
And with my school, that was, I closed my school, the physical location, just before I had Isabella 4 years ago. So I was running that and running ragged in a sense. I don't know where I had that energy, boy. I was teaching in the evenings. So in and around that schedule, it was just before I had Isabella, as I said. I had adult classes going till 10 o'clock at night. So my time came after 10.
There you go.
Not after 8. No, 2 hours make a difference, I tell you.
Yes, they do. You seem to have had quite a few roles as a journalist, as the picture over my shoulder shows. In that coincidence, do you have a secret life as a hard-hitting investigative reporter in Vancouver we don't know about?
Well, no, but you know what? All the reporters in Vancouver kind of go, "Oh, here comes Brenda." No, you know what? The funny thing is I study the real reporters, and I'm an actor. I'm a voice performer, and I'm an actor. So I watch Fox, I watch CNN, I watch our local stations, and I have never been to broadcast journalism school. I just try and imitate how they speak, and then put that to use when I'm going to go in for an audition and put on a suit and hold my mic. And it depends if you're an anchor when you're going in for the audition or if you're going to be an on-location reporter. Two different styles of reporting sound, but basically I just imitate them. And when I hear them saying, "What you're seeing is a freight train carrying radioactive and nuclear chemicals as it speeds toward Denver, out of control. We will keep you posted as this story unfolds. Marina Maxwell, CKCN News." I just copy their intonation and kind of, and then try and nail it and just sound a little more nasal and try and make a meal out of it.
Wow.
And sometimes I get cast and I beat out actual reporters, and that's kind of fun.
Wow. Let's see. Next question. You've worked with several of our pony actor brethren before: Matt Hill, Kathleen Barr, and Super Duper Sumos. Lee Tokar, Michelle Krieber, Kathleen Barnes, Tabitha St. Germain, all on Dinosaur Train. There's several other shows.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you also work with a lot of the pony actors.
Madeline was one.
Yeah, Madeline was one. Do you get surprised?
I worked with Angie and Madeline.
Yeah. Do you get surprised to see old friends in the studio anymore, or is it just like one big old party?
Say that again, sorry?
Is there anybody that surprises you when you walk into a voice actor room, or is it all one big party every week in Vancouver now? You all know each other, you all go in the same room?
You know what? I think, sure, we get different performers that pop in, not just the ones that you mentioned. There's a whole slew of voice actors that are all up and coming and are doing their own thing and working pretty steadfast in their own right.
Mm-hmm.
But is it a party? Yeah, it's like being in a room with who's that comedian who just slipped my mind there? Gosh, who can improv like no other?
Robin Williams.
I'm just seeing his face, and it's okay. It's going to come back to me in just a second. Oh gosh. Okay, it'll come back to me.
It'll come back.
Nanu. What did the guy that
Robin
played
Williams.
Mork and Mindy?
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams. It's like being in a room with a bunch of Robin Williams.
Nice.
Some can just flip off and have accents coming out the yin yang,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like being at a tennis match. You're kind of looking across the room, and there's an improv going on. And,
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as we start to roll, like, okay, we're going to record episode 102, standing by, everybody becomes very professional. So voice actors are pretty crazy and pretty out there, and they have to be, because what we do requires sometimes a bit of improv and a bit of out there to bring something that's flat to life to the listening ear.
Mm-hmm. If you were, here's a question. If you were to be the leading lady in a sophisticated thriller like a Bond movie, be a Bond girl, who would you want as your leading man?
Who would I want as my leading man?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Give me
easy.
that. Give me.
Well, we might have to go back in time. Can we go back in time?
Sure, you can go back to whenever you want. Whenever you want.
Okay. I would go for Clint Eastwood, and I will tell you why.
Do it.
I've had a love affair with him from the time I was probably about 10, thereabouts, because we used to want to watch our TV, and my dad was a biology teacher, and he'd be marking papers, and he'd have one of the Westerns on, and at the time, I couldn't stand it. My sister and I wanted to watch, whatever our cartoons were, our show, and we would kind of get forced into watching whatever the tail end of whatever show my dad was watching, because, he was marking his papers, and he had, a whole bunch of essays to write, and before you knew it, I actually started to get into some of the storylines, and I have followed him ever since. My dad actually went to San Jose for a very short time to teach. And when we went to Carmel, I must have been about 18, 19, 20. I'm not too sure now, but he had a place at the time called the Hog's Breath or the Hog's Inn or he had a little restaurant. I was too nervous to actually go in just in case I saw him. But I always had an affinity for Clint. So if I could be in an action adventure and it was back in the day, there you go.
Okay, let's go on. What's your favorite Western then? Your favorite Western?
Which one?
Yeah, what's your favorite movie? Favorite Western?
Let's see. Two Meals for Sister Sarah?
Ooh.
That one was good. Well, I don't want to say Good, Bad, Ugly, because that's just one that comes to mind right off the top. But I can't remember a title right off the top now, but that's mummy brain coming into play. But if you name a few, I'll be able to tell you I've seen just about all of them.
Yeah, Fistful of Dollars.
Oh, yeah.
Tons of them, yeah. My dad used to watch Rawhide all the time, so that's a lot of those are in my head. Your earliest work is in MacGyver, actually. Earliest listed work is MacGyver. That's a heck of a way to start your career with Richard Dean Anderson. What was it like having a role like that as your very first, on screen?
Well, the very first role, I've been on MacGyver twice back in the day. The first one, I played a student, and I'd come right out of theater school. The episode, I think, is called Hell Week.
Yes.
Because we were all like physicists and physics students and stuff, so we had some projects that we had to do. What was it like? It was a bit scary at first, I'll tell you why. Coming from theater training, I had no idea what it was like to be on an actual film set. I auditioned, I got the part, and then now I show up on a film set, and all the terminology and what you actually do on a film set is completely different than being on a stage with a live audience. You're now filming something and you have 100 crew, kind of watching you, but they all have something to do as well. It's just a whole different medium, and the calls were different. I made the biggest bloop of my life with, but Richard Dean was fantastic. Our director at the time was very quick, very fast, and, there were 8 of us. We were an ensemble cast, and he didn't know all of our names.
Right.
And I didn't know what the calls were, and he said, okay, standing by, and we're rolling. And you'll hear, we're rolling. You'll hear the echo, lock it up. You'll hear somebody else say it again, lock it up, roll sound, speeding from the sound guy. And then the director kept talking. And so I'm standing there with Richard Dean Anderson behind me, and I'm not sure when I'm supposed to say my lines, but the camera's on a dolly, it's on tracks, and it's about to go by, and I'm thinking, oh my God, the camera's going to go by, and I haven't said my lines, so I better turn around and say it right now. So, MacGyver, all you have to do is, and the director went, cut.
Oops.
When I say action, that means you. I went, okay, well, that's she's. Something so simple, it's like, okay, that's obvious. But because he would be able to edit out a lot of what he was saying. He was saying, okay, background action, and okay, camera dolly up, bring the camera focus, put it on a 4:5. He was mumbling away. I just assumed that the camera was going to go by, and then I would be in bigger trouble because I actually missed the cue. So anyway, back to first marks, as he said. Cut. Back to first marks. I turned probably as red as a beet. And Richard Dean Anderson just said, don't worry, it's all good. It's all good.
Cool.
And I said, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So yeah, it was a learning curve, and it was fun.
Sweet.
And I got lucky and got on that show again a little later.
Wow, neat. It wasn't the same character, was it?
No, I played a policewoman with Gary Chalk, actually.
Gary. Awesome.
I played a policewoman on that show. So I got to actually break down a door, which everybody laughed at when you watched the show. I can't remember what the name of that particular episode is, but they gave me a real police battering ram. They had 2 on the set. One was a real one that they used, which the grip is like a man grip apart, so it was like way too far for me to be able to hold properly, and heavy. And the other one was just kind of looked heavy, but it was a toy. It was very light. So on one of the scenes, we actually used the real one, and it was so heavy that as I'm running, I almost fell backwards because I'm supposed to swing it and then ram the door. Well, when I swung back, I went, whoa, 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 and just tipped over.
Down we go.
We did it a couple of takes, exactly. We did it a couple of takes, so you won't see that, but at least you'll know the story behind when you hear me, yelling, get it, Dad, get it, Dad.
Cool. If we wanted to see your best acting performance, I mean, you got a long list of performances. If we wanted to see the thing that you would want us to go see, what would it be?
What would it be? I did some nice work I was pretty proud of on a show called The Heart Healer. I was 4th lead on that show opposite Jeannie Francis and Ted McGinley. I played Jeannie Francis's friend on that show. And Jeannie Francis, you might know her from General Hospital, the Luke and Laura story way back, and then she's on Young and the Restless now, I think. Lovely, lovely lady. Ted McGinley, you would know from Married with Children, Happy Days. Great guy. Very down to earth. Very nice guy. That was a fantastic show. I shot that last year.
Cool.
And was quite proud of that. That's I think a Hallmark Hall of Fame movie of the week called The Heart Healer. You could find if anybody wants to.
Go look that up, people. And just to give us the other side of that question, what roles would you rather forget?
What role would I rather forget?
Forget you ever did.
Let me think.
Sort of like the Leonard Nimoy singing, the Hobbit song. I'm sure he'd love to forget that.
I'll have to think about that because it's hard to know when you're working on a piece. We don't get to see how it's going to come together in terms of the edit and the post-production and all that stuff. You don't know how it's going to come together. You just book the role and you hope that the story's good and it's going to happen. So I'm trying to think. Okay, come back to that one. And maybe I'll be able to look at something and go, glad that didn't happen.
Yeah. There was a role.
Yeah, come back to that one.
I'll come back to that one. I'll come back to that one. There was a role you did on a show called X's and O's where you played a pole dancing instructor. And Give us a little bit about an actor and what you have to go through to actually, get into a role. You told me that you had to actually go to pole dancing school, so you knew that role. Tell us a bit about preparing for such a role.
Yeah. Okay. Well, for X's and O's, yes, when I did the audition, they wanted to know that you were physically in shape. So I think we had to audition in sort of dance attire, just to show body lines. So don't show up, in other words, in a baggy sweater. Mm-hmm. So come in a nice fitted T-shirt, so to speak, or tank top and shorts or something that is, fitted to show your physique. That was the first thing. They wanted to know that you could physically be able to do this role. Mm-hmm. And then, can you dance? So I think I had to even dance for the role. I'm not sure. Can't remember now. But I was sent, when I did get the role, the producers sent me to a lady to get some pole dancing instructions. So I had a riot because hats off to the women who actually pole dance and do it well and gracefully and make you think that this is the easiest thing in the world, because I will tell you right now, it's not. The first couple of times you swing around, you're like, woohoo, you're doing it wrong. Mm-hmm. And then, your arm starts to hurt, your back starts to hurt, you crash into the pole. It was just in case they needed a shot to show me demonstrating to, the rest of the cast or the background performers. So I had a couple of lessons just to get sort of the basics of it. And as I said, hats off. It's not that easy. Some roles to prepare, you may end up having to learn an accent. Mm-hmm. And that means you go to the library or go onto your computer and search for whatever accent that they need for you to sound authentic. Mm-hmm. Physically, sometimes if you are going to be some kind of weapon, then you'll get training on set. Mm. For MacGyver, for Jump Street, there was always a consultant to show us how to properly hold our gun, mm-hmm. and how to holster it and how to enter a room, and, just what you see if you were watching whatever your favorite TV show is or action adventure hero, like, let me think. Criminal Minds is a show that comes to mind. When you watch how they enter a room, mm-hmm. there's a way to hold your weapon, and there's somebody to show us that and how to discharge it, and then safety as mm-hmm. well is another thing, right? In terms of preparing. So I would say a lot of it just has to do with when you're on set. If you're playing a doctor, then there's usually a medical consultant there to show you, how to use some of the equipment or mm-hmm. make you look like you know what you're doing. So if you're watching a show like Grey's Anatomy, they've all had extensive coaching with how to handle the instruments, and then they do inserts so they can cut with somebody who actually knows how to do the sutures and the stuff. So there's all sorts of ways to do tricks and things with film.
Because remember, we're telling stories. Yes.
We're telling, you have to be a storyteller, but you have to take a moment to prepare. Yep. I'll tell you a quick story. When I coach, mm-hmm. All of us as coaches were given a video to watch. Okay. We had to do a movie of the week about a real syndrome called Ray's syndrome. Mm-hmm. I coach kids, teens, and adults as well. So this was just part of my duties, as it were, was to watch the video and to coach this young 8 or 10-year-old girl how to physically become this character. And Ray's syndrome is an actual syndrome that affects baby girls. I think about 2 years old, the symptoms start to show. And it's very physical. They walk with sort of like a straight leg and a loose leg. Mm-hmm. The hands come up. The tongue maybe protrudes a little bit. The head is maybe on a bit of an angle. And there's a lot of physicality in watching this script in watching this video that now I have to pass on to my students mm-hmm. so that they can audition for it and hopefully get the part. Mm-hmm. So there is a lot of prep that comes into it, and to do the part with the justice and respect as well, so it doesn't become a real sorry parody. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
So there's some seriousness to it in being a storyteller. You have to embody your work pretty well, body, mind, soul. Physically, mm-hmm. you have to be completely immersed in it. Some things are easier and come easier, and some things require a little bit more time. And we don't always get that time as actors. Sometimes you get an audition call and, wow, Dusty, it's 5 o'clock and you're being told you have to be here tomorrow at 11 o'clock. So there's a lot of scramble Yeah, well, boy is right. But let me tell you, there's nothing like making use of running out your clock. You've got to find somebody who can help you, and the countdown starts.
Nice.
So sometimes you get more time than others, but for the most part, you've got to just make do with the time you have and research stuff to the best of your ability.
Cool. Things must get kind of crazy on the set from time to time. You've been on so many different sets. Any particularly good behind-the-scenes stories about your acting roles you want to share?
Any particular what?
Any particular
Crazy
good,
stories?
crazy stories from on set? You've been on a lot of different projects, so any crazy stories from on set you can share with us?
Oh, let me think. Crazy stories. Like as in bloops and blunders and
Bloops,
things
blunders, funnies, jokes, anything like that.
Well, let's see. I did the horror show, The Possession, and we had a whole lot of rats on that show.
Ooh.
And there are a few people that don't have an affinity for our furry friends, the rodent, the rat.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have an issue with it, but, we had a few, our script supervisor wouldn't be anywhere near where those rats were, and anytime they were let loose on the set, and with the idea that later on with digital imaging they were going to add more, they ended up changing this by the time you watched the final movie.
Right.
She would be gone. As soon as it's out of here, she's gone. And I had to do a dance and make sure with the 5-10 rats that they did have that were trained to come at my feet, they put some peanut butter and stuff nearby for them to come look like they're going to bite me. I had to make sure I didn't squish them. So I was doing this weird dance of like, oh my God, like for real. You just feel these furry things underneath your feet. I'm not grossed out or scared by rats at all, and especially the ones that are lab rats and performers for film, not a problem. But it was this weird dance you saw me doing when they let them loose, I tell you.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever thought, you've done so much on-camera screen work, have you ever thought about moving down to Hollywood, or does Vancouver keep you busy enough up there?
You know what? Maybe when I was younger, I would have thought on that. I did, actually. Maybe when I was about 19, thereabouts. I would have had to have gone and never looked back and stayed there. I did not have at the time the wherewithal and, the contacts or anything. It was like a thought. And my drama teacher, when I just come out of high school, said, well, if you want to, you should study. And if you are going to study, go to Studio 58 Theater Arts before you go anywhere else and really get some training under your belt. So I stayed, I studied, and then film and television took off here.
Right.
So basically Hollywood came to us.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I could have gone down there, struggled for a little bit, and maybe made it, or I could have stayed here, which I did, and made a living. Everybody's definition of success and fame are different. Mine is to just be a happy working performer.
Awesome.
And we became known as Hollywood North because we're sort of on the same parallel as LA. So we get being in the same time zone. We just have great crews here. We have the infrastructure for pre and post production. We've got the performers, and we have the facilities. As well as the topography. We've got great vistas here that can double as LA or look like a downtown metropolis. Yeah. So we've got a lot to offer in Vancouver, BC for filming. And as I said, all those shows with all those stars, from Harrison Ford to Ted Danson and Isabella Rossellini to Kirstie Alley, they came here to do a lot of those big blockbusters back in the day. And it just sort of continued on through.
Awesome. Okay, let's go into ponies just a little bit. When you're not busting mad Sakura rhymes, what do you do for fun? What are your hobbies? You have anything on the side that you're doing?
Mine?
Yeah,
yours. I sure do. I have lots.
Do it.
I love to ski and windsurf. Skiing for me, we've got local mountains right across the way. We have Cypress and, Seymour and Grouse, but we prefer Cypress as sort of the mid-mountain that we can, really access easily. Whistler is our number one resort that some people may have heard. We had our Olympics here, and that was one of the venues that was used. It's a world-class resort, and 2 hours away, hour and a half, 2 hours away, depending on how you drive that road.
Mm-hmm.
And that's sort of a little icing on the cake if you can get up there on a regular basis. It's a little expensive to go up there, whereas the mountains across the bridge here are, half hour away?
Nice.
And you're right up on the top of the hill, and nowhere else can you go up and ski and then come down and either golf or, I don't know, go boating or walk the seawall. We're quite an outdoorsy town. So Whistler is a treat to get to and a wonderful place to go and ski if you can afford the ski pass. And, it's a couple $100 for the day just to get up there to go on a one-day thing. So, and windsurfing. I learned to windsurf in Hood River, Oregon.
Nice.
And I'm not professional or anything at all. I'm a happy beginner, intermediate. I can take it out. I can bring it back. And that's about all she wrote. But I'm very happy to sail the wind.
Sometimes that's just enough
those
fun.
are two of my hobbies.
Awesome.
Yeah. Those are two of my
It seems like Pony is the most reliable gig recently. What would you think of a Zecora spin-off? Would you be ready for a Zecora spin-off leading role? What do you think that would be?
Bring it on.
Yeah, what do you think?
Bring it on.
What do you think a spin-off Zecora series would be about? What do you think the plot of that would be? What do you think?
Well, we'd have to come first of all to where she lives, I suppose, and get all involved in. I think they haven't quite explored that whole area of where her home is and what surrounds Zecora. So I think there'd be a lot to bring to this role. I'd love to. I'm really thrilled to be able to play Zecora. So somebody offered me a chance to have a spin-off. Are you kidding?
We don't know enough. We don't know enough about Zecora, do we? We don't know where she came from.
You don't
why
know
she's the
anything.
only zebra?
No.
Why is she the only zebra in all of Equestria? Right? Did she come from?
Well, that may still be coming. Who knows?
Who knows?
I can't say much about that, but all I can say is there's a whole lot of that would be very interesting to delve into if that opportunity should arrive, because I do believe that, part of the mystique around Zecora is exactly that. You don't know why it is she does what she does, or how it is that she got these particular powers and knowledge and wisdom. That's kind of the mystique that surrounds her. But there's a story there. So wouldn't that be great if that came about?
Oh, yeah. We have had a lot of the writers on this show. Some have even ghosted the show and watch. M.A. Larson, I'm talking to you. So, what would you like to see? I mean, you, personally, what would be the story you want the writers to tell about Zecora? Tell them right now, because I'm sure they're watching.
Well, just that. The mystique behind Zecora. Yeah. Wouldn't it be neat to unpeel a few layers and find out who she is? Like, what is her story? I mean, when you see her in the very first episode, we just sort of see her sort of pawing at the ground, right?
Yeah.
And you're wondering, why is she standing there? What happened? Why did she just appear? Where did she come from? And why did she make her way to Equestria? Like, she's there, but there's got to be some more depth. Wouldn't that be great?
This is my background. This is my background as Zecora coming out of my mind right now. Zecora is a displaced Zebcorian princess. She's been driven away by her tribe for some unspeakable deed that she did. But it was out of the goodness of her heart to save someone. But she had to do this deed, but it was against tribal custom. So she was sent away from her tribe, and she made her home in the Everfree forest. But she's such a good heart that she made friends with the ponies, and that she gives all of her wonderful knowledge to the ponies. But someday, she'll go back to her tribe, and her father will bring her back.
Well, maybe. See, there's a whole lot of possibilities.
There.
Definitely one direction.
Yeah.
One direction. But I would be so curious as well.
Yes.
I have those questions as well.
Okay, we're going to go into commercial, people. Once we get back from commercial, we're going to go into charities, and then we'll get all your questions for Brenda in just a few minutes. So stick around. We'll be right back.
Pie Family Rock Farms. Since 1594,
the Pye family have been bringing you the finest rock this side of the Griffin Kingdom. Their rock was quarried extensively in the building of Camelot Castle and has the blessings of Princess Celestia herself. Come on down and pick from the finest in raw quartz, limestone, shale, marble, and slate. And remember to visit the gift shop for t-shirts and backpacks from WeLoveFine.com. That's right, WeLoveFine.com for all of your pony needs. And remember, you won't take Pye family rock for granted. And we're back. And we're back. That is Pye Family Rock Farms. If you need some rock, if you need granite, if you need shale, you need little pea rock, you go down there and you see Papa Pye, because he's got all the rock you could ever need down there at the Pye Family Rock Farms. And if you need shirts, if you need bags, if you need backpacks, you need to go to WeLoveFine.com, because they have everything you need to just deck yourself out for pony, sort of like this shirt right here. So, also, you can pick up the shirt for this very show, Stay Brony, my friends, there, and we're actually working on some new shirts with some wonderful artists out there. So, be looking for that later this summer. We'll have some new shirts for you. And now we're going to go to our charities. So, everybody knows that Amy Keating-Rogers' charity is College View School. That's Soren's school, her son. And we ended up at $782. Good job, guys. $782 was raised for Soren's school, and we have this bag of swag right here, which is going for that. I picked up extra things for this swag. I actually picked up an extra program from Equestria LA, so you'll get that, and you get the 2 signed script pages from Amy, along with the rest of the swag that's in this bag. So, right here I have a hat full of names. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. We're going to dig deep. Lots of names this time. Good job, guys, getting in there and getting your latte money in for Soren's school. And the winner is Brian Armitage. Brian Armitage, you win this week's raffle. Good job, dude. Thank you very much for your help on that charity. Next, we have the charity for Kathy Westluck. Kathy's is the Canadian Senior Artist Resource Network, and we are sitting currently at $338 on a $500 goal. So we're over halfway there. So we're going to have 2 more weeks going for that one. Plenty of time to push that one over the edge. So get on that one. Now, Brenda's charity. Tell us a little bit about your charity, Brenda.
Well, I have been giving to the YWCA Crabtree Corners, which is just around nearby where I live. Mm-hmm. And I picked that charity because it's a sort of a transition house for women and children. Mm-hmm. They have programs and services. It sort of helps downtown east side people thereabouts for food, for support, for housing. Women who maybe are fleeing some kind of an abusive relationship or are transitioning off of drugs, whatever you can think of, this is a program that offers support and transitions them into a better future. So I love anything that has to do with mentoring our youth in a positive way and, helping our fellow sisters. Absolutely. So we already have that webpage up and ready to go at manliestbrony.com. So manliestbrony.com, you can go over there and you can click on the link and give your $5 to get into the raffle for some really awesome stuff that's in this bag right here. You notice I have a trend going here. It's the same bag because they're really cool. I know you guys like them. So in this bag, we've got 1 triple blind bag with Zakora in it right there. Ooh. And we also have the latest, greatest My Little Pony comic from Hot Topic with the Pinkie Pie and Future Twilight cover. So those are in there. That is what's going on there. Hey, Brenda. Mm-hmm. How about, what would you like to kick into that raffle? Say, autographed pictures maybe? Sure. Awesome. I'd be happy to. Yeah. I'd be happy to. It's a great charity. So, whatever, I would love to. I mean, I just think, please get on it, everybody. I mean, awesome. I just think it's a great charity. My kids are healthy. Mm-hmm. I'm in a great relationship, and I just think, for all of us who have been blessed with having both parents and raised in a safe, loving environment, please help somebody who has not been so fortunate. Yep.
There's lots of ways to help, and helping people is manly. Helping those less fortunate than you, it gets you all the love. Okay, and some manly.
Can I tell you, I love that. I love your website for that. Love it.
Thank you very much. We do what we can because it's the right thing to do. So everybody out there, hey, I want to see Screwball. Screwy, where you at, buddy?
How's it going?
Oh, there he is. How's it going?
Oh,
snuck in the back door
tired.
again, didn't you?
What?
Snuck in the back door again.
You know it. I was out in yard work.
Yard
And then I wound down and watched some movies. How are you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing awesome. How's the chatty box doing?
Oh,
See, now the girls have me calling it the chatty box. I was like, geez, Peggy sisters, you're rubbing off on me again. The heck. You got some questions out there, Screwy?
Yes, I do.
Awesome.
This one is from Imperious for you, Brenda. Do you find yourself to be at all like Zecora?
The question is, do I find myself to be at all like Zecora?
Yeah.
Was that the question?
That is the question.
Absolutely. You know, and it's rare because all the characters that I have played voice-wise, they haven't really been, you know, some of the morals and everything haven't really touched me or resonated with me as much as Zecora.
Mm-hmm.
And Dusty just listed off a few of them that I have, voice characters that I have played. But I think the message for me is just that, she comes from a place of grace. I've said it before, and integrity, and has some wisdom to offer, and is very grounded and is very genuine and sincere in her efforts to want to help the pony. She's very candid, and you know, with that magic and that mystique that she has, she's really only there to do good. She's misjudged originally, you know, just at the very beginning in the first episode of what is she making, and oh my goodness, who is she, and ooh and ah. And I do believe that you can't judge a cover by its book. I'm a woman of color.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole lot more to me than maybe what you may think just by visually taking me in. There's a whole lot of layers, and that goes for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some of us just have it a little more externally, as it were. So you catch what I'm saying? You know?
Oh, yeah.
So I would say Zecora is a great character to play. I feel that her message resonates within me, and it's easy to play.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Nice. Next.
So this one is from Gavin Japp for you, Brenda. What was your favorite part about the Brony convention?
What was my favorite part?
Yeah.
Oh, I have a few moments. Let's see. One was just being able to see some old friends come back that I met the very first convention. And remember, EQLA was my very first experience post-baby, 3 months post-baby. I just had Justin, and I sort of came into it with not a clue as to who bronies are, what they are about, what to expect. I had no expectations. I had nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So coming in was like, oh my God. And then coming now to the second one, not only did I get a chance to make some friends from the first one, but it was so wonderful to see that they came back. Some made some terrific art, which I've seen on DeviantArt, but some came in person and either carved things for me. I think Brad painted. I could almost name everybody. How great to see Snowflake. Hey, Tyler, give you a shout out. Hey, great. How great to see the girl that made and crocheted, Zecora and Fluttershy. She made some dolls, some plushies, and just to see people in person and then to hear the stories. We had a great meet and greet, and I was pleasantly surprised by the amount of talent and knowledge sitting right in the room. I had people who had master's degrees, who are career professionals in their field, sitting in the room with me. So I was in the company of some greats with some unique stuff. I mean, I just don't do what they do. One guy was a clinical psychologist, another one was a chef, somebody else was a therapist, somebody else was a computer whiz creating programs that I can't even say. So it was an eye-opening experience to meet with a community that is passionate about what they do, creative, and proud, able to just come together with like-minded souls and be okay with being expressive. And that's attractive.
I like that.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Excellent.
Yeah,
So
that's my most favorite part. People.
Awesome. And mine too, really is. So this one is from Kalo. A question for Brenda. If you were given the chance, which of the main 6 ponies would you like to voice the most?
If I were given the chance, which of the main ponies would I like to try to voice?
Yeah. Yeah, the main ponies.
Okay, let me think. I could attempt to be Rarity, but I think you'd probably all laugh. Applejack, let me see. Wow, it'd be a little hard for me to try to do this. Which one would I like? You know what? I don't think I would be able to do it at all. What the girls do, that's their gift.
Yeah.
I don't even have the vocal pipes to support being able to hit the notes that Andrea hits with Fluttershy and with Pinkie Pie. Are you kidding? So I'd have to stick with Zecora, and then if I were given a chance, I would try with my accent to try and, hobnob and be one of them there ponies. But I don't know. That's kind of a hard one, because I think what my colleagues do, they do to the best of their ability, and, hats off to them, because I didn't audition for those roles, and I certainly didn't get that part. So my talent would have to lay where it lies with Zecora, for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But thanks.
So this one is from Violent Bray. To Brenda, what is the craziest convention moment you've ever been through?
The craziest convention moment?
Yeah.
Oh, when everybody got up at the first ETLA and Gangnam Style. Between Tara and/or myself, I think, and I don't, word is on the street who started it off, whatever. I think I said something like, "Oh, I hear music." Somebody was playing something, and then next thing you know, Snowflake, Kyler, jumped up, and then the whole audience erupted, and it was like, "Oh my God, what are you guys doing? What are you doing? And how cool!" And again, I had my head in the sand a little bit. I had no idea what Gangnam Style was, because, like I said, I just gave birth and had Justin. So my focus for the few months just up to that, I just wasn't paying attention. So I was quite pleasantly overwhelmed. And I think anybody who was there would definitely say that was one of the coolest moments ever. Everybody stood up and emptied into the aisles, and it became a huge free-for-all for about 5 minutes. It was the best.
Nice. I'm going to cut in here for just a minute. You guys
Sure.
watching right now? You know that I have an announcement from Miss Anneli Heed, which is coming up soon. Okay, you got 15 minutes to get your friends in here, because at straight up 6 o'clock, we are going to tell you exactly what Anneli Heed told me only a couple days ago. So, if you want to find out what's going on with her, if she wants you guys to know, get your friends in here, because it's huge. All right, you got about 15 minutes, so get it done. Next.
So this one is from Leo Hardship. Question for Brenda. What advice would you give to anyone wanting to get involved with reporting or voice acting?
What advice? Oh, well, 2 different things for reporting. Let me put the reporting off to the side, because that's assuming you have done some of the training and stuff that will get you there for that specific kind of a part. Right off the top, for voice acting and then just acting in general, go to a workshop, go find a coach somewhere. You have to just immerse yourself for a day, for a week, for 6 weeks, for a year or so, to see if this is what you would really want to do and are able to do. And you'll know pretty quick within the first few classes whether or not this is the direction you should be taking, and if this is for you. Mm-hmm. So I would say get some training, and when you find that right class, take it to the next level. Do all the homework that they suggest, and most often for voice work, a lot of them will suggest that you start reading out loud, start naming the characters that you have in your head, and everybody has them. So just sit somewhere and start talking to yourself. And don't be afraid to talk to yourself. Don't be afraid to go big or go home and be silly and improv and do any kind of accent you can imagine. This is the land of voiceover. So watch a cartoon and try and imitate that voice. And if you can talk like this and be this crazy person, then name her. Call that person Oobala. Well, I don't know. There's Oobala. And then now maybe you have to talk like this, and there's somebody else that's, and maybe that person is called, I don't know, Red. So that's Red. That's Red the unicorn. Yes. There you go. So now you have a name for that particular character, and that one happens to laugh. Yeah. And find something that makes that character stand out. But if you can start to catalog some of your work, before you know it, you can also go in and record and make a demo tape.
Yeah.
But I will say definitely you need the training, because somebody can guide you. I'm saying it very loosely, but it's like making a cake. The recipe really does not change. It's how much attention to detail you pay, and then how much time and energy you are willing to commit and invest into your craft. If you're going to be an athlete or you're going to make the best cake, then I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to happen on your first try, right?
No.
You are going to have to practice. You are going to have to stretch. You're going to have to run that track several times to get the best time and to be in great physical shape. It's the same for this industry. Just find the right training and then take it from there. That's just strictly for sort of the voiceover end of things. If you're going into theater, that's theater training. That's a different medium. If you're going to film and television, again, that's a visual medium. So you need to know how you look on camera, what you look like as you're speaking. It's all your habits and your mannerisms and your emotions. You're a storyteller. So it all gets mishmashed into one big pot. But if you look at it and decide, I think I could do voice work, then head in that stream. If you think, hey, you know what, I really want to do film and television, be in front of the camera and see what that would be like, then head into that stream. No matter how you slice it, you are a storyteller first and foremost. So whatever is written down on the page as dialogue, it is your job to bring that dialogue to life. Somehow. You have to goal it, know what you're saying, what you're trying to communicate, and then allow and be that vessel through which all matter of emotion and thought just oozes through you so that we believe you. When you are our entertainment, we want to believe you. We want to be touched by you with your words and your feelings. So just think about your favorite actor, think about your favorite moments, whatever it is that made you laugh or made you cry. It's because that person has allowed you to see a part of them, but they're flexible and they've just let those emotions just sort of come out in part of the story. So that's what I say. Just start to be in touch and go train. Number one.
Yep.
Very well said. I love that.
Thank you.
Next.
So this one's from Fuchihu. Okay, I like this. As stated at EQLA, there's been a possible episode of Discord and Celestia possibly going on a date. Dusty, what are your thoughts? And Brenda, will Zakora be giving dating tips to them?
With Celestia and Discord, would Zakora be giving? Well, she would probably be able to impart something, but she should probably be saying something like, "Go careful, be aware. There's always consequence." You keep the misspeak, I'm sure, going. There's always consequence to action.
Yes. I don't know. I'd probably go up to Discord and put my arm around him and say, dude, if you hurt Celestia, trust me, I'll find some way. But if you hurt Celestia, I will. That's about it.
There you go.
Yeah. That was quite the talk, EKLA. Oh, it kept getting brought up. Thanks to Nicole. Yeah. Here we go. So this one's from Assassin Monkey to Brenda. Do you have a favorite rhyme that stuck with you, either with Zakora or non-pony related?
I can't remember word for word, but when I first introduced Poison Joke, That's the first one. And then the other one is, maybe next time you will take a second look before you judge the cover of the book. That's the other one.
Nice.
Always stood out for me, which was, take a second look. Take a second look. Take the time.
Yep.
So this is from Luke S., kind of on the same topic. For Brenda, do you speak in rhyme all the time, or would you ever thought of wanting to?
Well, they had Sakura Day, and I hope it comes again.
Oh, it'll come again.
Because I will endeavor to try. I think that is a real gift for those who are able to speak in rhymes all day for everything that comes out of your mouth. I think it's tough. I rely quite heavily and quite thankfully on the writers, because then I don't have to try to pull that out of my head when there's a big blank up there sometimes. It's tough. That's not an easy thing to do. So I give all respect and propers to those that are able to rhyme. Am I able to want to try and do that? No. It's hard. It's really hard.
When we're at EKLA, me, Saber, East Race Best, and Paleo, we were trying to do Whose Line Is It Anyway? Doing this was called the Irish Drinking Song, I think it was, and we'd have to rhyme with one another. First person would say a line, and then the second person would say a different line. The third person would have to rhyme with the first person, and the fourth person would have to rhyme with the second person. It was the hardest thing we've ever done, and I can't do rhyming. It's so terrible and hard. Oh.
Well, you know what I say? Thank God that wasn't for marks, because if I was in university and this was one of your, class participation marks, I would be like, my character, I make it look really easy because, as I said, we have terrific writers on the show that have made it really interesting and intriguing and fitting for Zakora to say what she says. And then, all our animators put our characters to be doing what they're doing. So when you marry the two of those, you get quite a cool script and show. But to do it on your own, that takes a little bit more concentration. It's not doable. That's why when Zakora Day comes along, I do plan to try.
We need to get you on Twitter, because then when Talk Like a Zakora Day comes around, you can participate. Yes, we need to get you on Twitter soon.
Yes, coming soon.
Coming soon, because if Tabitha can get Twitter, let's get you.
Yeah, that was the last sort of hang thing. Tabitha's done it, so Zakora, Brenda, what are you doing?
What are you doing? Falling behind here. Next.
Yeah, it's coming.
So this one's from Firemain to Brenda. I hope you liked the Zakora carving I made for you. On top of that, we. On behalf of him, I like to say on every brony out there, will you ever be joining us on Twitter?
We just talked about that.
We were just talking about that. So first of all, yes, I love my carving. Thank you. I had to put it on the bottom of my suitcase, and I kept it in the big manila folder that you provided. Thank you. It was a little heavy. My suitcases were a little heavy. I just want you to know by the time I got all the kids' stuff in there and everything. But it has made it back, and it is sitting in Isabella and Justin. They share a room, and it's sitting in their room. We have to get a hook or something to be able to put it up, but it's propped up right now on the bookshelf. So thank you. And yes, I do. And the green works very nicely with the color of the room. It's an eggplant color in their room, sort of a purple color, so it looks quite nice. And I don't have anything like it, so thank you. And Twitter, yes, Twitter is coming soon to a theater near you. I'm not making any empty promises at all. I'm just saying thank you for being patient, everyone. I still can't believe that anybody will be following me, but everybody has assured me, those that have been lucky to meet have said that they would, so thanks, Dusty.
Yes.
When I was first asked about Twitter last year, I was 3 months postpartum with Justin, so it wasn't on my list at all. My list was really long with, okay, I got to feed him, I got to change him, I got to try and get sleep in there, and you're just dizzy from having a newborn. Literally, you can barely get to the phone and talk. It's the first few days are a quiet sleeping baby, and then as that baby starts to grow and wake up, there just becomes all sorts of wonderful and crazy challenges with just trying to go about your day. So he's now a year. He just turned a year before I came down on the 27th of the month. And things have changed in another way. Now he's starting to want to walk and, that. So, yes, it is on the list. I promised to be able to communicate. So thank you, though, for my carving. And I do hope to have a chance to see you again. Thank you for the work that you put in to that and the passion and the idea that you can carve out of a piece of wood. I wouldn't know the first idea of how to start. So I do thank you for that very much.
In a world where Brenda Crichlow is on Twitter. Yes, it's going to be awesome. Next.
So this one is from
James Justice!
What's up, the
Superhero of Stay Brony, my friends. Keeping cornflakes at arm's length from everyone. Next.
Who is this?
James Justice.
James
James Justice. James Justice is our resident superhero. James Justice. Who can control cornflakes with his mind. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
What's so awesome is that is actually his name.
That's his actual name.
I like his name, James Justice. That's a superhero right there.
Yes.
James Justice.
Arch nemesis is Soggy Milk. We still have to find someone to play Soggy Milk. But what is James' question?
Two things. He just likes to make one. He likes to make a shout out to Shakira Speeder because it's actually going to be his birthday this upcoming Sunday.
Yes.
Which is awesome. He's always been a fan of the show, and yeah, I can't wait for that to happen. And on another note, a question for all. I've asked this before, and I'll ask it again. What awesome swag did you guys get at Equestria Los Angeles?
Oh, geez. There's too much swag to show. I mean...
lots.
Swag upon swag. I got
swag.
I picked up this awesome coin.
I got a lot of art.
I
got a lot of art from everybody. As I said, Annie crocheted, and I remember her name. So, hey, Annie, if you're listening.
Yeah.
She crocheted a little Zakora doll. Brad painted me something. The other fellow carved Zakora. Somebody else did watercolor. I have a whole schwack of stuff I came home with. And I'm glad it made it through security, too.
Oh, yeah. Tons and tons. I mean, I got people drawing me pictures. There's a little picture from Eat the Pony. Little picture there. Yeah. I got the signed stuff. There's another Figgy drew me a little picture. Check that one out. That's neat. I got signed stuff from everybody. I got Kathy Westluck. I got G.M. Barrow. I got Amy Keating Rogers. I got this really lovely drawing by Ivy. Check that one out. Rainbow Dash being awesome, as usual.
Yeah. Isn't that nice, though? The best ones are the ones when the artist signs it. I got some of the artists who did the graphics behind our program. I got her to sign the page and poster. I just think if anybody makes anything, I really appreciate a signature. It just goes into my scrapbook. But I like to have the artist who took the time to make something sign it. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. We got Luna's Angels patches. Nice. That's cool. Tons and tons of stuff. I got Smarties. Look, I got Smarties from Kathy Westluck. Of course, I had to trade dark chocolate Milky Ways for it, but I call it political prisoner exchange because she can't get those there, and I can't get these here. So now I have 3 bags.
Was that food? You got some milky chocolate?
Yeah, I got Smarties. I got some Smarties. Canadian Smarties. Love these.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. You know what? We're going to do... Yep, it's time. It's time.
Oh, it is time.
It's time to let everybody know what is in Anili Heed's mind, because she sent this to me a couple of days ago, and I've had to sit on it because I was so excited about it. So I've had to sit on this for a couple of days. But you 117 people sitting right there are going to find out before anybody else. I'm sure you're going to retweet it, but guess what? You're here. You're going to find out right now. So sit back, relax, and we'll see what is going on with Anili.
Hey there, fans! Are you excited about DustyKatt, Sam? I know I am! I just found out that Anili Heed, the Swedish voice of Spitfire, is joining us, making it her very first con appearance in the U.S. Not only is she going to be giving panels and autographs, she's even going to be performing live with a few lucky fans at our concert Friday night. Are you a musician and want to perform with her? Check out our website or our Facebook page. I hope to see you in October.
Swedish voice actress for Spitfire is coming to DerpyCon South. They're bringing her over.
Excellent.
That's going to be October 4th through 8th in New Orleans, Louisiana. So,
wow.
Yeah, Benya just told us about it. That's their mascot. And she is going to come 4th through 8th. She's also going to be performing. She's going to be singing. So anybody who thinks they can get in a band behind that lovely woman, get a hold of the guys down at DerpyCon South, and they'll get you hooked up for everything. So that is the huge announcement from Aneely Heed that she will be in the States October 4th through 8th at DerpyCon South in October. So awesome, awesome news there. Yeah. Loving it. So let's get back to it. You still hanging around, Brenda, or do you got to run?
I'm still here.
All right, cool. Let's go with a few more questions. Hit it, Screwy.
So this one's from Storm Shield. Question for all. Are you going to Equestria Girls in Theaters at all?
Am I going to... Sorry, was that for Dusty or for me?
It's for all of us.
For everyone.
Okay, sorry, you have to repeat the question. It was a little bit hard to hear you.
Yeah, the question was...
are you going to Equestria Girls in Theaters?
Equestria Girls?
Yeah, Equestria Girls, the movie. The humanized pony movie, Equestria Girls.
Oh, I don't know anything about that.
Well,
sorry,
if Brenda knows nothing about that, we now have a clue about the content of that movie, because obviously Zecora isn't in it.
Not as far as I know.
Not as far as Brenda knows. Zecora ain't in it.
I've heard of that. Somebody can fill me in.
Yes. Well, the reason that MLP only had 13 episodes last season was because they were doing this DVD movie, which is actually getting a wide release in theaters coming up June 16th.
Right.
So
I don't believe I was in that.
Yeah. So we have no Zecora. So there's another plot point. No Zecora. You know, she could have been like the lunch lady with all the really great sayings, sort of like Chef in South Park.
Yeah. Well, remember, I'm a recurring character, so I'd pop in here and I'd pop in there.
Yeah.
And I might not have popped into that one, but I might have popped into something else.
So.
Yeah, that's all good.
Well, I actually can't see it in theaters because there's only going to have one theater here in the Bay Area that's going to have it, and it's way up in San Francisco. And they're only showing it on a Saturday, and of course, I work on Saturday, so I will not be seeing it in the theaters. I'll have to buy the DVD. But I will, and I'll see it, and then I'll make money.
Mine's farther away. Mine's all the way in, like, Montreal and Ottawa. That's way too far away.
That's plane rides for you.
Yeah, that's plane rides right there, so I just have to wait till it comes on DVD, and I'm definitely getting it.
Yeah. It's going to be awesome.
Next. My voice cracked up there. So this one's from, I don't know if I can say her name right, Azrielda Brony. To Brenda, what's your favorite episode you appeared in My Little Pony?
What is my favorite episode? I think the one that we had the most fun with, we had Foodman and Kuma come into the studio where I was telling you earlier about Poison Joke, and they flipped voices between Andrea and Blue. So that was hilarious. We had a lot of fun in the studio that day because his voice, as you know, is very low.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. He's a lovely actor, too, so it's nice when we get some guests that come into the show.
Awesome. Next.
So this one is from Perfect Harmony. I'm going to try to reword this one because I'm just going to say it. Brenda, favorite princess?
My favorite princess. Well, I guess Celestia. Celestia. Yeah, I'm a Celestia fan. I mean, I love Nicole Oliver, but I love her character and what her character stands for and everything too. I mean, she's the one she's a mentor for Twilight Sparkle. I don't know. She's just responsible for banishing her sister and then maintaining harmony and everything. She had a lot on her plate.
Yep. Well, then we know where you stand on Celestial Empire or the Lunar Republic.
Celestial Empire.
Okay.
See, we're Luna fans.
We're Lunar Republic fans around here. Yeah.
I wouldn't have known that. Really? How so? Why is that?
I don't know. Well, because, Celestia's a tyrant. She's got the iron hoof of monarchy on the throats of the ponies. It's her way or the highway. There's no freedom.
Okay.
There you go.
And then how did you come to say, okay, well, we're going to be Lunar Republic fans? How did you come to that?
Because Luna is all about capitalism and giving the wealth to the ponies, the power to the ponies. That's all.
Well, there you go.
There you go. Next question.
So that's a trick question.
It is, actually.
Because then now I'm going to be outcast. Everyone's going to look at me and go, oh, well, you're over there.
No.
Please don't.
No, well, you have about 5 on your side and about 20 on our side so far on guests. But that's okay. It's all right. Not a problem. We love Nicole. She'll be on the program soon.
I do.
Next.
I can't wait. So this one is from Seeker. For you, Brenda. Vancouver is so beautiful. Do you go to other places and just sigh at how they pale in comparison? If not, what's your favorite travel destination you've seen?
Oh, well, first of all, Vancouver is beautiful. It's very picturesque here. You're right, with the mountains and with our ocean and just our topography. We're in a rainforest, so it's very green here. And when I go and travel, to answer the second part of your question, it's not about that. Each city has something different to offer, so it's exploring. There's no negative. It's exploring. It's hard for me to say that I'm going to come back and compare because, it's the world. So how great that you get an opportunity to get on a plane and then see a different place and find out about the history and meet the people that happen to live in this particular city. It's a whole journey. So it isn't about, Vancouver's the number one city in the whole wide world. And blah. Hey, there's pros and cons to living here too.
Oh, yeah.
and people come and visit and go wow to some things. And in some cities, it's like, wow, why don't we have that? How come they have this whole nightlife scene that we don't have? What's a city that I've enjoyed or a destination that I've really enjoyed? Well, let me think. In Canada or in the States? If I have to say a place I enjoyed that was just, real tiny place, which was fantastic. The people would have been Hood River, Oregon. As I said, I went there every summer for about 3 years to learn how to windsurf. And why? The water, the people, the sport, the sense of community, and the fact that people from all over the world come to Hood River because of the wind. San Jose, Oregon. San Jose was a place I spent some time in because my dad taught in San Jose for a little while. So I got to go around to all the cities nearby there as well. And if I had to say in Canada, where's a fun place to visit? Well, Montreal has a great day scene and night scene. It's a university town with McGill University, and then it's got all great restaurants and nightlife there. And Quebec City is another one that's fantastic. So it depends where. If you want to go tropical, I can tell you about the tropics too. There's a few places I've been lucky to visit. Europe is another one. Gee, I could go on. I could tell you how many times I went to Italy because I felt a part of me was Italian. I just love the language and love the culture and the food and everything. And again, remember, there's pros and cons to some things. Would I be able to live there full time? Some days I'd be able to say, yes, I would. Other days it's like, no, I don't think so. But I sure spent a lot of time, and I'm anxious to go visit Italy again and bring the family this time. we could go on a world tour of the places I've traveled to. If anybody wants to listen, I'd tell you all the great places to stop in. I'd say, go to Greece, go to Santorini. It's really romantic. Great sunsets. Fantastic. Mykonos, well, it's a party island, and it's expensive, but, I had fun there too. So, yeah, I could go on about each place, but it's just like what I said, it's all relative to where you are at the time. Look at it as an adventure.
Pretty much. Next.
This one's from Flare Cobra. For Brenda, how long did it take to get down Zikora's voice?
How long did it take for me to get Zikora's voice? Is that the question?
Yeah.
Well, it was a little rehearsal period once I found out that I had the audition for it, and then some time in the studio. When I got the audition call, it was we were looking for more of a Cajun French style accent, and that was about it. They had a picture of the character and some dialogue, and I spent a couple hours kind of stressing, trying to look up how that accent should go and how I could put it into the character and, and make it sound good. Because you just go in, and sometimes when you're auditioning, you go, God, that was terrible. But the director, so when I went to the audition, they had a bunch of actresses that were actually French speaking, and some could do this fantastic Cajun French sounding thing that I don't even know how they did it. I was just, wow, great, okay. I won't have any, I'm not even in the running to do this part. And when I came in, I gave my version and kind of probably said under my breath, gee, gosh, that sucks. Sorry, Carrie. And, well, what else can you do? What's your background? And I said, I'm half Jamaican. My mom was Jamaican. My father is Trinidadian. And, both are slightly different accents, but to the untrained ear, a general West Indian accent would be something like, it's so good to talk to you. I'm really glad to be here. And it's sort of a sing-songing kind of a voice where the emphasis is on different things and different syllables. You understand what I'm saying? It's kind of a lilt. If you give a general sort of overview of the West Indian accent. So I started there, and then they said, go a little deeper, give us something else. So then I went into a little bit of patois, and then drive down to Kaka, and then pick up and pick me up, and then, you want to say something like that, and then boogaya, some person, a ragged person going around the corner. I said, okay, wait, we can't understand what you just said. What was that? That's a little too rash, a little too broad for us. I'm like, okay, so you don't want that, the ragamuffin rash. So I was saying, okay, boy, then take it away, you understand? Then ting and this and that. So, okay, I won't mumble outside. That won't work for the character. So we sort of mixed that, and then they sort of said, well, maybe a little African. It was a collaborative metamorphosis of Zikora. And it all became about where to place her, because when I originally started with her, she was a little higher in the register, and gradually, once I added a little bit of the African, and I didn't know which part, I was, madly trying to squeeze it out of my brain. Okay, South African, West African, East African, like where? What sounds like what? And you're standing there with a microphone, and you have about 10 seconds to come out with something. So immediately I went, okay, I'm talking somewhere here, something like this. And then, we like that. Okay, somewhere here. So then it gradually started to get lower and lower, and and a little bit more study. I sort of listened to a tape later to kind of make sure that at least if I was doing a generic Africanesque accent, that I was a little true to that region. And that's how Zikora came to be. I got a call, a week later. Sometimes when you just think that just didn't happen, it did.
Nice.
And I was like, no kidding. Yeah, you have to be able to be flexible in the studio and take the critique and take the direction and not take it personally, because out of that, something good can come. If you clam up during that process where try it again, no, I don't like that, or we don't understand, or, can you give us a little, okay, yeah, that's good. No, can you bring it back? If you can just stay patient and try and give the producers and the director what they want to the best of your ability, as I said, something good will come. It's hard not to get frustrated. It's hard not to tense. and, you know, just kind of climb up and then give them the same back each and every time you get a chance to do it again. That's the hardest challenge of being an actor, period, is to be able to take direction and take it to another level and give them something different if they're requesting it. It's very difficult, but it's doable. As I said, you have to just remember it's not personal. They're trying to find something, and in the end, if you walk out and you're exhausted and you have no idea, gee, that was good, that's usually when you might get the part, because they took the time. They liked something of your quality, and they took the time.
Next.
It's when they go, thank you.
Thank you.
And you said one line, then you kind of go, oh, okay, I really did suck. I'm not what they're looking for at all. So, yeah, that's how Zakora came to be.
That's awesome. So this one's from Chris Music. Question for Brenda. Have you ever read for any other characters on My Little Pony?
No, I did not read for any other characters in the initial audition. When we are in studio and in session, sometimes incidental characters will come up, and they'll say, can you please play pony number 2? Or, you know, farm animal number 3 or something like that. And then you have an opportunity to bring a voice about at that point in time. But I did not, for this particular show, read for another character. To the best of my recollection, it was just Zakora that I came in and auditioned for.
Nice. I can just see this. There's this one little interstitial where Applejack and Apple Bloom are herding the sheep on the farm. They herd them into the thing, and they close the door, and Applejack says, "Great job, Apple Bloom." And I can just see this on the page on the scripts. Like, could you do the sheep? Okay. You could have just asked. It's like, oh, great, cool, roll it.
Yeah, well, what happens before, you know, we've all taken the script home, so we've read the 50 pages or 100 pages or what have you of the script, and so you're aware of what characters come up, and then, you know, in session, when the producers or assistants will come up and say, can you play XYZ, and if you could play JYC, and you say, yeah, sure, certainly. And so you already know that it's coming up, and then, you know, yeah, on the day for that 2 seconds in the middle of the record, sometimes it's tweaked just a little bit so that maybe the ba isn't the ba, it's like a ba. You know, they want it higher up, and it's a teenager or something. You know, you get a little bit more direction sometimes on the actual day, which is why I say you have to be okay to be flexible and be a little out there. And that's why I also say, this is just a side note, when you asked earlier what was one of the highlights, and I said, you know, you just have to not care. I said to one fellow in particular, and he'll know who I'm talking about if he's listening, because he was there. He came back this year to YWCA 2013, was just dance. Who cares? And it was about the dance that happened, you know, that improv dance that everybody Gangnam Style got up and did. And I said, so did you dance? He says, no, I felt a little shy, you know. I said, oh, come on, get out there. Next time that happens, don't care. Just do it like a short. Just let go. If you feel the need, just go. So with this, sometimes you just got to let it rip.
Absolutely.
And not care.
Next.
So this one is from Dojorcan. I hope I said that right. For Brenda. Have you gone and seen any episodes of My Little Pony?
Have I can't hear you, sorry. Have I what?
Have you watched any episodes of My Little Pony?
Yes.
Which ones?
Which ones?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and remember the names of the titles of all the episodes now.
No.
No.
I can't remember the episodes, but yes, I've watched our show. Sure.
Nice. Is there any particular episode that you really enjoy?
You know, there's a few, but it's hard for me to pick out from which episode to say, oh, it was when Applejack said, or it was when, you know, Fluttershy was, you know, zipping around. It's hard for me to pick which particular episode to say a favorite one. So I'll just say that, yeah, no, there's a few.
Nice.
It's all right.
Okay, Screwy, we're up against it, so give me that last good question I know you've been hanging on to.
I'm going through this, but I'm just going to reword it a little bit. But from Flare Runner to Brenda, tell us a secret.
Tell you a secret.
Tell us a secret.
A secret that nobody knows about me. A secret that. Oh, okay. Let me think. Well, that's me thinking. A secret. Yeah. A secret. Well, okay, I have to think about a secret.
Okay, well, you're
Give me any hints about what part of my life you'd like me to try and share a secret?
How about Pony?
It's hard for me to pick.
How about a secret about something that happened while recording Pony that somebody doesn't want you to say? Something about Lee Tokar, maybe? Something about...
Lee Tokar. Oh, Lee's hilarious. I taught Lee everything he knows.
There you go.
Okay, that's not it. I was his teacher way back. He took an acting class for me. I don't know if he ever talks about that. That's not really a secret.
That's not really a secret, though.
What happened? Other than that, we're crazy people in the actual room. Okay, I know. I draw all over Kathy Westluck's script all the time. Nobody really knows that.
That's a secret. Ooh.
She sits to my left, so I doodle all over her page sometimes. I hear some of her lines.
Maybe we should get some of those for the charity.
Yeah, if they're in existence somewhere, I don't know how you'll get that.
Ooh, hey, we know Kathy. We know Kathy, so maybe I can call Kathy and say, hey, you got any
my doodles?
Got any doodles from Brenda on your script that I could have? I might have to go after that.
Secret.
You two are like sisters, you and Kathy. When you're at EKLA, you're like throwing paper planes at one another. And then like during the panel, you're like constantly bugging one another. It's like you two just seem to get along so darn well.
We get along really well. I have an absolute mutual respect for Kathy as an artist and as a professional. She's also a voice coach here in Vancouver. And as you know, I ran a studio for about 10 years. So anybody who came through my studio space that was looking for vocal training, in voice tags and cartoon works and stuff like that, I funneled them her way because I know that they were going to get top-notch training, and she stands behind what she does, and she's a working professional. So I respect her on that note. And then, we're just silly together, just like all of us as castmates. So, Andrea, she's one of she's taken me under her wing, and she's younger than me. So I love her to bits. Tabitha, well, she's like Earth Mama. She brings tarot cards into the session, and she feeds us all. So, yeah, we all get along in different ways, and I'm lucky.
Wait.
I go to work and love everybody.
Tabitha does tarot cards?
Yeah, she's brought in tarot cards.
Really?
Now, is that a secret? I don't know.
No, but it gives me ideas. Anyway.
She's brought in and passes around and passes food around, so we're all well fed.
Nice. And with that, we're at the end of the show. So I'm going to read off all of the new original content all of you out there in TV land can watch right here on Everfree Network. Every week, you start off Monday with this show, Stay Brony, My Friends, and then on Tuesdays, you get Cutie Art Crusaders. The CAC will find and comment on all the best art that this fandom has to offer, and that's Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Then, Brony Clubhouse, also Tuesdays, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, and that's where the BCT, Brony Clubhouse, will talk about all kinds of stuff. Wonderful show. Check it out. Equestria Inquirer, the guys from the desk in Ponyville give you all the news that's fit to print and some that's not really fit to print at all. And that is Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Into the Spotlight with Osaka Jack. Osaka will interview all those bronies that are doing really cool stuff that don't quite get the spotlight they deserve. And that is Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. Then Sketchy Sounds Live Songcast. Thursdays, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, where Sketchy breaks out his acoustic guitar and plays anything you want live. Really cool show. Check it out. Post My Video with Jay Haller and BVids Thursdays, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, where they actually talk about PMBs and all that really great stuff going on with the PMB scene. Brony Breakdown with Saberspark and Paleo Thursdays, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. And we all know Saber Spark and Paleo, they go off and talk about everything that's going on. Then, on the radio side, Lunar Republic Takeover is Fridays, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, with Nightmare Moon playing your requests all night. And then Mixology with DJ One Trick is Saturdays, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, where she does the house and the trance and the dance and all that stuff. Check out her show. It is awesome. Saturday Night Songs with Michelle Krieber, Saturdays, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, is actually on hiatus until June, so they will be back in June. Blue Screen Bronies, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. That's on Sundays, where they talk about all the gaming stuff that's going on in the gaming industry from a Brony standpoint. Then, Pegasisters Live. The Pegasisters are with you, do kind of what we do, but from the female point of view, and that is 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, also on Sundays. And with that, that is all the wonderful content that you can check out right here on Everfree Network every week. And with that, we're done. So, next con coming up is Everfree Northwest. Yes, Everfree Northwest, July 5th to 7th in Seattle, Washington. They already have Michelle Krieber, Andrew Francis, Peter Nude, Tabitha St. Germain coming. Hopefully they get Brenda Crichlow. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You guys up there in Seattle. So, yes, with that, I want to thank everybody who helps put this show on, from Care to Win, my girlfriend Amy, to Screwball, Cowboy Dave, everybody in the EFN family. And I'd really like to thank Brenda for coming tonight and taking some time out of her busy schedule and her busy day.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me, and hopefully you didn't hear all the children up there.
No, not at all. It would have been great to have them on the microphone for a couple of
They're
minutes.
upstairs. They're upstairs, pounding away.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Thanks a lot for coming, Brenda.
Thank you, Brenda.
Pleasure.
Pleasure's
Thank
all
you,
ours.
guys.
Yes. So with that, gang, we don't have a show next week. We're going on bi-weekly. Bi-weekly from here on out until further notice, because we want to have some time to do some more wonderful content, because I'm running out of stuff to run for you guys. And I got a website to fill, and I want to do some things, so I need some time for production. So we're going to go to bi-weekly, so there's no show next week. But the week after that, Andrea Libman. Andrea Libman will be with us in 2 weeks. So
Yay.
don't miss it. And we will see you then. Till then, ciao.
Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. We hate to leave you, but we'll be back soon. Good night, sweetheart. Good night. Good night, sweetheart. Good night.